Man, do you like podcasts? Well then,
welcome to
No Gimmicks Needed!
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
this is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Okay, yesterday was Saturday, June 7th, 2025, which was a double pay-per-view for WWE, which was Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. Well, I'm going to talk to you about Money in the Bank yesterday and recording it today. And it was a newsworthy show. I don't think it was the greatest Money in the Bank, but it because certain things help gain my interest, because if it wasn't for a certain somebody, that main event was boring as fuck. Just gotta put that out there. I'm sorry.
I've been hearing that.
Yeah. Oh God, it was a snooze fest. But you know what? I don't want to get out of term here, because we're going to just get right into things happening in Money in the Bank and talk about it. I'm sorry. I usually do my reviews on camera. I'm not on camera this time. I'm just doing audio this time. Trying to work something out. I said I'll just put it on part of the podcast this week. But let's get right on into it, because we start off with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Rhea Ripley versus Naomi versus Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer. I keep saying her name wrong. Roxanne Perez and Alexa Bliss. Now, before I get into the some of the highlights of the match, who did you pick to have win this matchup, Q?
I thought they were just going. Okay, no. Let me answer correctly. I thought they were just going to say, screw y'all and give it to Rhea. Who I wanted to win was Roxanne.
Got you. Okay. Now, because when me and Prime did our predictions, I had picked Naomi to win. And I was like, you got to proceed with caution, because she already lost to Jade, and she's the jealous lover of Bianca. I'm just like, she needs something, to help send this thing over to the. And I said, in the dark horse, if it wasn't going to be Naomi, it was going to be Roxanne. So that's who I had going. So it starts off. The women start fight all over the place. Naomi hits a face buster to Stephanie on a ladder turned on the side. Rhea Ripley goes on a run. She goes for a razor's edge, and there's a ladder leaning on the ropes. She goes for Roxanne, barely reverses it, gets the Hurricane Rana, and hits Rhea on the Hurricane Rana. She falls on the ladder. Then she does a springboard lion salt to Rhea that's on the ladder. Her and Julia try to do a ladder sandwich to Rhea in between the ladders. It doesn't work because the ladder is not going right. So, but they toss to the outside. They bury Rhea Ripley under the ladders, which she kind of remains for a good part of the match. Like, she just buried under the ladders. So Julia starts hitting German suplexes on Stephanie while she's even on the ladder. She hooks her legs in the ladder and it hits German suplex on Naomi off the ladder. That was kind of impressive. Then Roxanne gets she gets tossed out the rope, but she about to skin the cat. She's hanging onto the ropes. As she's doing that, she's right where the ladder pile is. Rhea appears like crawling from the pile, like a monster crawling from the pile. She just sitting there looking all shot. I'm like, you can get out of this, Roxanne, but we got to sell it. Rhea goes and she power bombs Roxanne Perez into Naomi. Hits electric chair to Julia on a ladder set up in the corner. Then they got a ladder bridge in the ring. There's a ladder in the ring, and then the ladder from the ladder to the ropes. So Rhea tries to go for another electric chair on Stephanie, but Stephanie reverses it, pulls Rhea up on the ladder bridge, and gives her the devil's kiss on the ladder. Booker T would be proud. I would have loved to hear Booker T do the right on why she doing. I was like, that was the person doing it on the ladder.
And shout out to Stephanie for double duty.
Yes, I just did it. She worked on Smackdown, Worlds Collide, and Money in the Bank.
Triple duty.
Yeah, no days off. I'm just like, y'all have a big enough roster for us to have somebody in these matches, but
yeah, because with this, Zelina had nothing to do, so she could have teamed up with Lola.
Yeah.
If y'all should have kept Elektra Lopez, y'all ain't had nothing for her to do.
Now
she could have
keep all this space. Okay, they said no. We got to round them all.
She's Puerto Rican, but still.
Yeah. What? No, you talk. Still in the Hispanic category, right? Like Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Colombians, and all them. Dominicans. After the Devil's Kiss, there's the ladder and there's a double ladder bridge. One ladder going on the ropes on one side, one ladder going on the ropes on the other side. And while on both sides of the bridge, we have Alexa Bliss. It gives a code red to Naomi, and then Roxanne Perez gives a pop rocks to Stephanie. They're both at the same time on the ladder bridge. Then Rhea hits a riptide on Julia while Bliss hits Perez with her sister Abigail. So we get no finishes. And then they both climb the ladder. Naomi pushes Rhea and Alexa Bliss off the ladder. She climbs up the ladder. And Naomi wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. Well deserved. She was in 5 Money in the Banks. Hasn't won any one yet. She finally wins this one. And you can tell she was still trying to be crazy and be a heel, but you can tell she was overwhelmed with emotion because she finally got that win.
Mm-hmm.
And so how you feel about, Big Sis winning that briefcase?
Good, man. Proceed with caution, man. First black woman to win Money in the Bank.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Shit. That's insane. That's insane. Because we've been doing this match for 11 years now. And I'm like, she first of all, you know what? I'm like, she got the momentum and she can cash it in on either one and win that championship. And I think it now,
it's like, who does she cash in on though? Like
right now, if they're gonna have a draft, then I don't know. She may go to Raw, but if they don't, it could still be Tiffy.
Draft or not, she could cash in on whoever.
Yeah, but see, because I think what they're going to build to. At first, I thought they was going to build to Bianca and Rhea at Mania in Vegas again, but then I was like, well, maybe they'll do the championship between Bianca and Naomi. But then I was like, I just don't know because I think they're going to do Bianca and Naomi at SummerSlam. I think that's without the championship being there. I just think they're going to do Bianca and Naomi at SummerSlam. And I would actually like to see that because eventually they're going to have a match with Bianca. Bianca's finger's going to have to heal up first. So, next match is an impromptu match that wasn't announced on the card, but it's Intercontinental Championship. Dominic Mysterio versus Octagon Jr. They had some words and beef during Worlds Collide, so then Dom challenged him to this match at Money in the Bank. Dom ties Octagon's man to the ropes and stomps him out. Octagon does kind of like, reverse the Three Amigos and 619, but it wasn't really nothing much to this matchup. Dom hits a frog splash, beats Octagon Jr., and that's pretty much it. This match is basically just to show the people that did not see Worlds Collide some of the luchadors from AAA in the ring, and this game was a small spot. Also, they only had 4 matches, so you got to clear up some time somewhere, and that's all this was.
Right. I heard Worlds Collide. People were saying that they saying Worlds Collide looking like event of the year.
Oh yeah. It was. Look, if you don't do anything, Q-Flow, you got to go check out that Chad Gable match versus Van Kingo. Bruh. Van Kingo was doing shit that I ain't never seen before.
Oh.
I ain't never seen a damn near walk the tightrope jump destroyer on the apron. I ain't never seen that before.
Oh yeah, that's nuts.
They was doing nuts stuff. So if you don't see any part of Worlds Collide, go back and see that match. You got to go back and see that match. All right, time for the next matchup. We have the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch taking on Lyra Valkyria. If Becky wins, Lyra Valkyria has to raise her hand. If Lyra wins, Becky can no longer challenge Lyra while she is the champion. So early on, Lyra goes for her diving dropkick to the outside. Becky grabs it, pulls her, slams her right on the floor. Becky's in control for most of this match, especially in the beginning. But then Lyra hits a neck breaker to change the momentum. And then she hits a superplex on Becky, which Becky came down kind of, Lyra got this way of doing the standing suplex where she comes down almost like her back touching the mat before her feet leave the ropes. I'm like, that is not safe. She do that a lot. And I'm like, she got to be a little careful with that. On the outside, Lyra drapes Becky on the barricade and hits a good-looking, I put it in my notes, a good-looking leg drop to the back of Becky Lynch. And then Becky rolls back in the ring. Lyra tries to go for a double drop kick from the top rope, but Becky hits her with a power bomb only for 2. Later, oh God, Becky gets Lyra on top rope and hits a super manhandle slam. It was all Lyra. I put in the notes. I didn't know if you saw the chat, and I said the move it sucks. The move sucks.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
And I was like, this shit sucked. It looked terrible, but at least for me. Then on the outside, Lyra hits a Nightwing on Becky Lynch, and they both are laid out, but then they both reach inside the ring by the count of like 9.99. And then both women go back into it, and then Lyra tries to roll up Becky, but then Becky rolls up Lyra and grabs her trunks, and then pins Lyra Valkyria. Becky is the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. So that means Lyra has to raise her hand. So Lyra does raise the hand of Becky Lynch, and she regrets that she has to do this. And then Becky like, nope, I want more. So she tells her to put the belt around her waist. She does it, and then she gives her a German suplex and a Nightwing in the middle of the ring. So this is still not over between them, but it was still, once again, they had a banger of a match.
Yeah, I was about to say it is what it is. I was hearing like, everybody was saying like Lyra could wrestle her ass off, so good showing.
Oh yeah, every time like Lyra will give you a great match. So this ain't over between them, but I said it was still a great match. So then backstage, I kind of missed it. Backstage, there was a American May who was talking, and then there's this great big fireball ladder, like brought to you by Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. And it was like, well, we gonna put this in the ring for our friend Grande Americano. So it's time for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Seth Rollins versus LA Knight versus Andrade versus Penta versus Solo Sikoa versus El Grande Americano. Let's get into this one. Everyone gangs up on Seth, takes him out. Then we start getting dives to the outside. But then for some reason, as Michael Cole and Wade Barrett was trying to discuss that Chad Gable and El Grande Americano are the same person, for some reason Wade Barrett stayed on trying to compare Chad Gable and El Grande Americano's nipples. Yes, I'm not.
I heard. That was so weird.
It was like, look, Q4, you know me, and my family knows I'm not part of the pause or the no Diddy camp. I just be saying shit. But this is the one time that's like, pause. It's the one time like, yo, no Diddy on this. Like really, I'm like, you're staying on this shit way too long. You're staying on it way too long. Grande hits a Dominator on Seth Rollins on the ladder, so tosses a Grande on the ladder in the corner. Seth goes on a run, starts hitting the pentagram on Penta and stomp on Solo. He gets the ladder at the top. Andrade pushes him upward over the ladder and gives him an ankle lock. So while he does that, Andrade climbs up on the side Seth is in and gives Andrade El Americano a sunset powerbomb and takes him down. Meanwhile, there's a ladder. Seth's still hanging, draping over the ladder. Penta climbs up there and gives Seth a superplex off the ladder onto another ladder set up in the corner, even though Penta took the majority of that shit. So now we have another... Would you want to say, Kid Flo?
No, I ain't saying nothing. Go ahead.
So now we got a ladder bridge in the ring. Another ladder bridge from the ladder and then a bridge inside the ring. And Penta and... Look, I swear, I only saw this shit in AEW. But Penta has Andrade up and gives him a destroyer on the ladder bridge. And I was like, it looked good. That's crazy as hell. But I've been seeing a lot of crazy destroyers Saturday alone. Just letting y'all know that. So, but he hits him down on the ladder bridge. Then El Grande pulls out the fireball ladder. He goes and has a, whether you want to call it the Three Stooges moment or the Terry Funk moment, he puts the ladder on his head and starts swinging and hitting everybody about it. Then he said the ladder, Grande and Penta go to the top of the ladder. This is a big ass ladder, like to the point where the Money in the Bank briefcase is almost sitting at the top of the ladder. That's how big this ladder is. So now there was a point in the match. Grande hits Penta with a headbutt. Penta's selling the headbutt like he thinks that the metal plate is in there, and I'm just like, it's not yet. So it's just the way Penta was selling it. I was like, I think, he mistimed it just a little bit. But Grande gets knocked off, and then that's when the camera showed him slipping the metal plate into his mask. So, as I have in my notes, I put in all capitals, crazy work incoming. Here's what happens. Follow me if y'all can. So, on the outside by the ring post, there's a ladder set up. LA Knight gives a Grande Americano like a what they call that thing? A slingshot. But there's no room from the outside when he gives him a slingshot. So Andrade has to use his core to get him up. He climbs up the ladder. There's another ladder that's leaning in the turnbuckle. He grabs the ladder to push it forward to fall on the big ladder that's in the ring, the fireball ladder. Climbs up there and gives Penta a headbutt with the metal plate. Penta falls off. So then LA Knight runs up that ladder and then gives Andrade Americano a backdrop off a side suplex off the ladder where Andrade came millimeters from a ladder that was already on the ground hitting his head right there. That could have been the worst right there. And that was just some crazy. I was like, it started clunky, but it just got better and better as it went on. I was like, that's some crazy work. So while that happened, Seth Rollins was like, yo, time for the boys to come out. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed come out. Braun Breaker destroys. Not kills, not beats down. He destroys El Grande Americano with a spear.
I saw he hit that torpedo spear.
Exactly. Like I was just like, I was like that little black bullet on Mario Kart. Been playing a lot of Mario Kart the past couple of days, so I just been seeing that. I'm like, that's what it felt like.
Nah, you know what it was like. You remember? No, you know what it was like.
What?
Let's go. We gotta go old school with this one. You remember the speeding bullet from the Justice Friends off of Dexter? That gold, the dude, he was like a gold bullet. He was supposed to be like fake Iron Man.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But he was a gold bullet, and he just always torpedo at people.
Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, and that's how he just flew. He flew at that man and took him down. And Bronson Reed breaks the fireball ladder, just takes it down. So then Solo got his boys coming out. So it's JC Mateo and Jacob Fatu. So now they all start brawling. Braun spears JC Mateo through the barricade, takes him out. But then Jacob Fatu, his impressive ass, gives Bronson Reed, of all people, just because Bronson Reed, he lost a little bit of weight, but that man's still big.
He's still fat. Like,
he slimmed out a little bit. He may have lost about 30 pounds or so, but I'm just like, he's still huge. And he gets that man a pop-up clean Samoan drop. A pop-up clean Samoan drop. So then he helps Solo, like, okay, come on, get up here, I do this. He steps up the ladder, make sure nobody gets in the ring. Solo climbs it. He's about to grab the briefcase, and then Jacob Fatu grabs his ankle, looks up at him and says, I hate you, Solo. Pulls him down, gives him a super kick. He ain't done. Gives Solo a mighty moonsault. Then there's a leather ladder bridge from the ring to the barricade, and off the apron he gives Solo his own spinning solo move through the ladder and takes out Solo Sikoa. Everybody's hyped for Jacob Fatu. It is great. I mean, even though he was already a borderline babyface anyway, but that's what it was. So Solo's out. Seth gets another fireball ladder. And it's him and LA Knight fighting. So then he throws LA Knight's back of the head to the ladder. Then hits a stop. And I'm like, all right. So Roman music gonna come? Like, Sammy coming? CM Punk coming? Anybody? Because we just said Seth can't win this matchup. And nothing. Seth just wins.
Yep. It's bullshit.
And I'm like, what? Like you. I'm sorry. There's playing it safe, and there's playing it too fucking safe. And Triple H played it too fucking safe for that. Because you know my rule. You know wrestlers' rule. You look strong on a TV show. You lose at the pay-per-view. Seth took out everybody on SmackDown. He took out everybody except for Solo Sikoa and probably El Grande Americano. But he took out him and the boys took out everybody. And LA Knight been in this match 3 times in a row.
And they still won.
And they still won. And LA Knight, like I said, he been in this thing 3 times in a row. 3. And yet we still can't get no win for LA Knight, which I don't even know where his direction is after this. Like, you got to keep some momentum
Royal
on these
Rumble?
people.
Like, I don't know.
No, yeah, I don't see him win the Rumble. That's what I say. That's what the Money in the Bank was for. Maybe King of the Ring. Who knows? But it's like I can't see him doing anything at SummerSlam neither.
Because even if he wins King of the Ring, he still got to deal with the risk of Seth cashing in.
Exactly. So we don't necessarily know. Triple H want everything to cook, but I'm like, every now and then, Triple H, I understand, Triple H likes to cook the beef Wellington. He like to put that thing on a nice 200 degrees and let it cook for like 6-7 hours. Every now and then, you just want a hot pocket. Every now and then, you just want to put it.
Steph did not. He did not have to win this match.
No, he did. Yeah, it should have been. To me, it should have been LA Knight, but it wasn't. And to add salt to the wound, made it going back to Vegas next year. Confirmed now.
Yep, I told y'all.
Yeah, but now, you was I was just still. I don't even know why I was holding out hope. It won't come back to Philly. I was like, so back to back Vegas. I was like, ugh. Well, that
TKO is ruining my enjoyment of this product. By the way,
seriously, bro, seriously.
Like that's why, like, I did not go out of my way. Like, I didn't even like. Granted, I use Peacock for other shows, but like I ain't even bother renewing my account. It's just like whatever.
Yeah, like things had to be like done like in order. And speaking of that, main event time, tag team match. It was Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso taking on Logan Paul and John Cena. I have in my notes in capital letters, the first half of this match was boring. It sucked. It dragged. The drama was gone.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this right now. I'm saying it right now, y'all. The turn was immaculate. It was fantastic, but the run has been trash. Cena's heel run has been trash. I don't like it.
Yep.
I don't like it. And even though you can make the argument that saying that, he's a heel, he's not giving us what he wants, he wants to ruin wrestling, that's part of the gimmick. Even still, you can make the ruined wrestling storyline better than what the hell's going on right now. And right now, people know this is his last time everywhere he goes. So they're not even booing him properly. They're cheering him.
I feel like all of this is Cena's career. I feel like Cena had creative control over this. I just don't feel like Triple H would have a heel run like this. No, I feel like this is all Cena, and he thought it would work, and it's not working. But it's like we hear now. So,
if you had said this back in 2010, I would believe you. It's 2025. Cena's not always that guy. I think this could be Dwayne.
Oh.
Especially with the news of him and Triple H been beefing, which I told y'all that was going to happen, but I'll get to that later. But anyway, so it starts getting interesting when we get after like the We Want Truth chants happen. So Cena has his moment. He tags in and then tags out and tags back in, and Logan Paul gets mad and they start arguing. This looked like the dumbest shit, Q, because they sitting there arguing in the corner. Jey Uso is about to tag Cody Rhodes for the hot tag. Even the point Jey Uso looks back and they still argue. I'm just like, are y'all missing spots and y'all cues like that? And then when Cena's about to see Jey Uso tagging Cody, Cena's in the corner like, no. I'm like, this is. I'm over this. I swear to you, I was done. I pulled out the Switch 2. And I started playing. I ain't gonna hold you. I pulled out the Switch 2 because I was like, yo, no, I'm done with this. But to me, then when I started paying attention, is Logan tries to go for the buckshot Larry and messes up. He falls and slips on his ankle, something like that, and then he gets super kicked. So his ankle's alright, but yeah, he messed it up. Cody goes for the crossroads on Cena, and Logan tries to break it up and go for a splash, but he hits Cena instead of Cody Rhodes. Then Jake hits him with a spear. Later on in the match, Logan is on the top rope and he grabs his drone. He calls for his drone to come over here. And as he has his drone, Cody goes and gets him superplex. So now we get a superplex from the drone's point of view. I thought that was actually kind of cool. So Cena hits an AA to Cody for a 2 count. And then they go outside to a fight on the announce table. Cena clears off both announce tables. And he's about to give Cody an AA, but then Cody fights out of it. And Jay runs across the first announce table and spears Cena on the second one. It don't break. Not these new reinforced tables. It don't break. And then as Jay's laying on the table, this was impressive. Logan Paul hits a springboard Isai moonsault off the
joint to the table. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. Like I said, I don't like Logan Paul, but he's good at this shit.
The wrestling is undeniable, man.
It's undeniable. He's really good at this shit. And I was like, that was impressive, especially for how far them rings and them tables be at pay-per-views. I'm like, yeah, and it broke cleanly. It was nice. Cena hits Cody with the title belt. And as he does that, he turns around and somebody in a hoodie attacks Cena. Now, if you're looking at it on TV, I already knew who it was because I could see the ankle. It was a black guy. I'm like, what other black guys attacking John Cena right now? You knew, like, when I saw that and a little bit of his back, I'm like, R-Truth did his best to cover up, but obviously with the momentum, like, you know, your pants leg come up, or, you know, the back of your hoodie come up. And then, but he revealed, but if you're there live, you probably couldn't see it. But on TV, I'm like, okay, it's clearly a black guy, so you know who this is. So he pulls everything on. It's R-Truth. He gets a hella pop. He grabs the championship. He hits Cena with the championship. Runs out. Everybody's excited. We want truth. And then Cody comes in there, hits a crossroads to Cena, who still can't take it good at all. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso beat Cena and Logan Paul in the main event of Money in the Bank with the return of R-Truth. So, real quick, Q-Flow. Like I said, the match was boring, but it picked up at the end, like the last 7 minutes of the match. It really picked up at the end. Overall, it was I'm not gonna say it was an exaggerated thumbs up, but it was like it was good enough. There's enough stuff on there I like to be like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, there it is, a good word, solid. But I was more excited to see R-Truth. I'm glad to see it, but it's funny because everybody's talking about stuff. R-Truth is back in return. I'm like, if people who don't follow social media, fine. But I mean, actually, I'm sorry. People who don't follow social media, I would be like, "What you talking about?" Because Truth just had a match with Cena 2 weeks ago, and then last week had a match with JC Mateo, and I'm like, gone. He ain't been shown for a week. So, you know, but if you are following the story and following the drama that's happening on social media with R-Truth and his contract, then it makes more sense to you about, you know, this happening. And then they put his stuff on WWE Shop. Ron Killings is the name.
He's going by Ron Killings.
He going by Ron Killings. Now, for that's Money in the Bank. So, like I said, I give it a thumbs up for the stuff I like. It was a solid show. If you guys will go back and see, there's something I would say. I do think Worlds Collide was a better show, honestly. So, just way better wrestling on there, and I think you would enjoy Worlds Collide a little bit better. But that was our Money in the Bank review. And like I said, it was a solid show.